Hi everyone, Slangel here from Slangel Designs. And I had a comment on the crochet reversible shell stitch video that was one of the first videos I had done when I started up the channel, and they had asked if I could redo it with some better lighting and just overall better quality. And when I went back and looked at it, it was one of my first videos, and I didn't have some of the equipment I have now to help me with it. So I'm going to redo the crochet reversible shell stitch. Say that 5 times fast. Again, and hopefully you'll be able to see things a little bit better, and follow along a little bit better if you're interested. Now, this pattern and the PDF is free on the website, and again, I'll put the link to all that with the instructions in the videos, and it has all the pictures in it on the website. You can download the free PDF for that, so you can make your own, follow along. So these are just the samples that I had done from before. I dug them back out because you can see it's one color on one side and then the other, and it peeks through. And this was the one that we did on the video. So I'll just go over it. I would consider this a little bit experienced or more advanced, but it could be also comfortable for just an advanced beginner kind of thing, because there's nothing really too complicated, because you're going to be doing your single and double crochets, and that's about it. It's just a matter of where you're going to be putting them. So you will need a removable stitch marker, and that's one that can open and close, because there's certain places in the pattern where you're not going to turn your yarn because you're working with 2 colors. So you're going to have to, so that your yarn doesn't start unraveling from color A while you're working on color B, you need something that you can put on and off to control your yarn. And a 5.5 millimeter hook, okay? And we're just going to use 2 different colors of worsted weight yarn. You could use a bigger yarn or a lighter yarn. It's just the pattern, the size, overall pattern would kind of change in size, the overall project. Now, this is a pattern that's working multiples of 5 plus 3. So depending on how big or small you want to make your project, you'll do 5, 5, 5, 5. Great, got the width I want. I'll add 3, then you're gonna get going. So I'm gonna start with a chain of 28 in the tutorial here. Okay, so I'm just gonna set this aside. I do have it up on my monitor in front of me so that I can see what, even after doing so many different crochet patterns, I still have to kind of follow along with some instructions. So this is what we're aiming for. Color and then the pattern. Now mind you, the yarns I chose off my spare stash here, I have a white and a pink, just so my pink's going to be my color A. So I'm going to set my stitch marker aside. Oh, and you will need scissors and a tapestry needle or yarn needle to weave your ends in, so that's kind of a given. So I think I'll set this over here too. I don't have that much space on my desk, so. All right, so you start with your slip knot, and you can, or put it on your hook however you're comfortable with. I like to do the slip knot. So I'm going to chain 28, because that's my 5 multiples of 5, so 25 plus 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I don't like it over here. Back it goes over here. Okay. So I have my starting chain of 28. So we're going to do a double crochet in the 5th chain from the hook. Now, I want you to remember, the one on your hook does not count, okay? So we're looking at 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This would be our 5th chain from the hook right here. Okay, you see that? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So double crochet is yarn over, put your hook in, yarn over and drop a loop, yarn over, pull through the first 2, and yarn over and pull through the second 2. That's a double crochet. Now, then we're going to put 3 double crochets in the next stitch. So the next stitch right next to it. So yarn over, put your hook in, yarn over and pull up, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So that's 1. And we're going to repeat that again. Yarn over, pull through 2, do 2. So that's 3 double crochets all in that one stitch. Now we're going to put 1 double crochet in the next one. Oop. So you can kind of see that kind of makes your shell of 5 for your foundation row. Okay, so now we're going to skip 2 chains. So we're going to skip this one and this one, and then the next one we're going to put a double crochet, and then 3 double crochets in the next, and then we're going to put a double crochet in the next one. So you can kind of see the pattern here for your foundation row. Then we're going to repeat across this, so we're going to skip the next 2, 1, 2, double crochet in the next, then 3 double crochets in the next one, sorry, there's a big truck outside driving by, if you can hear that. And then we're going to do a double crochet in the next. We're going to skip our 2 stitches. So 1, 2, double crochet in the next one. Three double crochets in the next. That's 2. Then we're going to put a double crochet in the next one. I meant to say a single double crochet. All right, skip 2, 1, 2, double in the next, 3 in the next one. And when we get to the end, and I don't want you to panic because you're going to have an extra spot. You are supposed to, okay? And you'll see why when we get to that. All right, so then we're going to put a double crochet in the next one. You'll notice you're going to have a chain left. Don't panic. Like I said, you are supposed to. Now, don't turn your work. Pull your loop up. This is where that stitch marker comes into play. So you're going to, and you could use, if you had like a bobby pin, or just like if you're a knitter and you have a stitch holder, you could use any, as long as you have something that will keep your yarn from coming undone, because you're not going to use that right now. Now, so this is very important that you do that. So now we're still working on the first row because each color is done in two rows. So now I have color B. So we're going to attach color B, attach it to our hook, and you are going to attach it to the 4th chain from the turning chain you did here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to attach it in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, right here. All right. Make sure I'm using my working yarn and not my tail. So we're attaching that there. Great. So now it wants us to chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to single crochet in the first stitch that we skipped. So the first stitch we skipped was here. So we're going to single crochet down in here. Okay. I'm trying to get both the loops there. We're going to single crochet there. Then we're going to chain 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to find the next skip chain, and we're going to single crochet in there. And we're going to repeat this across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The next skip chain right there. Put your hook in, yarn over, pull up your loop, and then yarn over, pull through 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I try to keep one yarn on one side and one on the other so that I'm not going to get them tangled and the such. Sometimes that's easier said than done. So every now and then you may have to just kind of untangle your yarn as you're going. Not a huge deal. Then we're going to single crochet into the next skip chain, and sometimes it's tricky. You got to, in order for it to be nice and secure, you want to kind of get both those loops there. Yarn over, pull the 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now this is where that unworked chain from the first part we did, that's where we're going to do our single crochet for this one. So that's why that little piece was left. All right, so like I said, each color is going to be done in 2 parts. So that's the first part of color B. I know it doesn't look like much right now. Patience with the pattern and with yourself. So that's what it looks like right now. Doesn't look like a whole lot. It's going to. So now we're going to keep working with the white or color B. We're going to chain 2, turn, and this is how you're going to be looking at your work, because it's going to look like the stuff we did on the previous rows, kind of on the bottom. It's not. And what I want you to be very careful with, so we chain 2. I want you to be very careful that when you go to do the next part, that you're pulling these set of chains up, and you'll see why. So we're going to slip stitch to the first double crochet stitch. So basically just to this one. I'm going to show you here. You've got your marker, which if you need to kind of get it out of the way, you can kind of pull that a little tight. So we're going to slip stitch to the first double crochet, which is right here. And that's just so that we're secure when we move up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to put a shell, which is 5 double crochets, okay, in the same stitch. And we're going to be working those double crochets in the center of the previous 5. We did the single, we did 1 double crochet, then we did 3, and then we did 1 double crochet, which kind of made our shell. So in the middle one, so the third one in, we're going to be putting 5 double crochets in there. But what you want to do is make sure when you go to do your double crochets that you're also catching, like I want you to see here, we're going to yarn over, put our hook in. We want to make sure that that set of 6 chains is also on our hook, so that when we yarn over and pull up a loop for our double crochet, we're catching it and anchoring it. And once you get the first one done, see how it pulls that up and attaches it? So then yarn over and put your hook in and do another double crochet. So that's 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that's what it looks like on this side. And then when we flip it over, you can see where we did, and we anchored that chain of 6 to the other side. So then what we're going to do is repeat this across. So yarn over, find your middle set of double crochet, put your hook in, make sure that you're bringing that set of 6 chains up so that you're anchoring it, and put your 5 double crochets in that center spot. And once you get going and you can feel where those set of 6 chains are, it kind of becomes second nature to hold it in the right place so that you're anchoring it. So there's our 5. And again, you can see how we pulled that chain up. So we're going to go on to the next one, yarn over, make sure this is up, find our middle, make sure you've got the chains so that your yarn over is trapping it. And we're going to put our 5 double crochets in that same middle double crochet from the previous part. So there's our 5, and again you can see where it's anchored. I'm just going to work the next 2 till we get to the end here, and I'll show you what we've got going on. And I should mention too, and I should have mentioned this at the first video, all the terminology is US terminology. So depending on where you're watching from, it might mean something different for you. All right, so we're going into the last one. Find our middle, 1, 2, 3, right here. Again, making sure we're anchoring that chain of 6 as we're doing our double crochets. Very important. And this ends up being a very thick blanket because you're essentially having almost 2 blankets, one on top of the other, anchored together. Now, we're not done. What you're going to end up doing is putting a single crochet in the turning chain. So you're going to end up putting it in the same chain you attached your yarn to. So we're going to go right back in here and do a single crochet. Okay, now don't turn your work. That was the second row of color B. We're now going to pull our loop up a little bit, take our hook out, take our stitch marker from the first spot, move it over to here. Then we're going to put our hook in to color A. And then what we're going to do, this is where I've got my yarn all tangled. So I'm going to untangle it. And we're going to swap the yarn to different sides so that it stays untangled for the next 2 rows. Every 2 rows, what you're going to have to do is swap your yarn colors back and forth to try to keep them from getting tangled. So now, for row 3, we're going to chain 6 with the pink, or color A, whichever you're using. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then you're going to put a single crochet in the gap between the shells. So you can see here, there's a gap. That's where you're going to put your single crochet, right there. Okay, so again, chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The space in between the two shells, single crochet. And this is what we're going to do across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, you can hear the stitch marker hitting against the desk there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can see the first pass through of your color goes pretty quickly because you're just chaining and anchoring it with a single crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to put your single crochet in the turning chain, or the second chain from beginning chain 2. You're going to put it in right in here. Okay, and then you're going to chain 2, turn the work, and you're going to slip stitch to that first double crochet like we did before. So basically it's the one that has the stitch marker in it. Okay, so now what we're going to do, we're going to chain 2 again, and then we're going to do our shell stitch in the middle. So 1, 2, the third one in. Again, making sure we're getting that chain of 6 to anchor it in with it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And this is what we're going to repeat across. So we're going to find our middle one right here. Make sure we're bringing up and getting that set of 6 chains on our hook. Yarn over, pull through so it's anchored to the piece. Get our 5 double crochets. Oops. Try that again there. Get our 5 double crochets in. So it's 3, 4, and 5. On to the next one. Find the middle, bring up the set of 6 chains and anchor it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And we're going to keep doing that till we go to the end. So it's hard for me to say to you how much yarn you're going to need to make a certain size project because there's no tension gauge really for this. It depends on the yarn you're getting. It depends on the size you're making it. It is a yarn intensive project. I will warn you about that. There have been many of these I've made where I'm like, I'll buy a whole bunch of yarn up front and then be partway through and I'm like, I need to go get more. So if you are looking at a certain yarn and some yarns still have specific dye lots and you're not sure if you're getting enough, either get extra or try to pick a yarn that doesn't have, that says no dye lot, because that way if you have to go back and buy extra yarn, you're not going to be disappointed when you have like a little bit of a shade difference. because I have run into that before where I was doing a solid color blanket in a different pattern and I was just a little bit short, and I wanted to, luckily the blanket was just for on our bed. I went and I got one more ball of yarn, and there was just enough of a shade difference that you can tell where I added the last piece, the last one. All right, so we're at the end. So we're going to single crochet just into that chain, pull our yarn up. Time to take the stitch marker off that one, attach it back to this one, and put our hook into the white, back into color A, or color B, into the white. All right, so then we're going to basically repeat those 2 rows again. We're going to do our chains, and then we're going to do our next pass, which is the shells. And you can see how it starts to kind of come through there. So hopefully this is making sense. So I'll do one more pass with this color. So I'm going to chain 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to single crochet in between the 2 white shells from below. Let me just get a bit of yarn there. Chain 6 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Single crochet in between those next 2 shells. So again, this part goes super fast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Single crochet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're coming to the end, and you're going to single crochet. I'm trying not to get the yarn tangled here. Move that out of the way. Single crochet right there. Chain 2. And then you're going to slip stitch it into that double crochet, like we said, where the stitch marker is. And then you're going to chain 2 again. And then you're ready to start your shells. So again, middle stitch. Make sure you're grabbing those chains to anchor them, and put your 5 double crochets in that middle stitch. 3, 4. So it works out pretty quickly once you get going and you get the pattern down. The key is to get that good foundation row established. Have your stitch marker so that you're not having your yarn untangle on you. 4, 5. And there'd be so many different pretty color combinations you could do too. If you wanted just almost like a 3-dimensional, you could use just one color. You would still have to have separate balls for each, as if you were using color A and color B, just have them be the same because of the way the pattern gets worked. And it would just be almost like a 3-dimensional pattern. So hopefully this video has a bit better quality and it's easier to see and it can make more sense. Because like I said, that was one of the first ones I did, and I kind of learned a little bit along the way for making a video. I was pretty new to it back then. Alright, so then we'll get the last one done here. Two, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're we're going to single crochet right there. So there, you can see that. So then when we flip it over, you can see the white's all on this side with the pink poking through, peeking through. And then as we're working, the pink is on this side with the white peeking through. So hopefully that makes sense. And then again, like depending, I had picked a variegated yarn here on this side and then just a plain purple on that. And there was the light blue and the darker grayish blue. You can see how it works up. All right. So hopefully that will help you, and hopefully that shows up a little bit better for you. If you do have any other questions, please feel free to put them in the comment section. I will reply and get back to you as soon as possible. There is the next tutorial coming up for the crochet along. I know I got a little bit behind, but my carpal tunnel was acting up super bad, and crocheting was just, and knitting was just brutal for a little bit there. So things have seemed to settle down, so I'm going to get back into getting that alphabet blanket worked on. So if you're working on that, stay tuned for the next part of that one, unless you've worked ahead, which power to you. So again, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Don't forget to hit that follow button and hit the like button, and let me know where you're watching from. That always interests me, because it's surprising how far videos get reached. So take care, happy crocheting, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye-bye.